Hello, our SeptaSOAREous.
I'm Septa.
I'm sorry. And this is us.
SeptaSOAREous.
Rex. And today, we kind of talked about this a while ago doing this video, but we wanted to talk about kind of what it's like for people in the music industry these days, in the sense of what it's like to work with a record label or get hired onto one and whatnot. We had sort of brought it up a little bit before, and a good chunk of people said they're interested in us talking about it. So that's what we're doing today.
And since we are talking about the music industry today, that means that we will almost mainly be talking about the TikTok of it all.
Because as of late, to be part of the music industry, you need to be on TikTok. I feel like at this point, it's kind of like a well-known fact that in order to be seen or heard or whatever, you need to have a TikTok, and it needs to be doing pretty good for itself.
We touched on it a little bit. For the most part, you will not get signed to a record label without a substantial social media following, and they are like primarily focused on TikTok now because it's been proven that TikTok makes money.
You kind of see it all over the place. We have people talking about it on their TikToks. You've seen TikTok stars become famous from it and create a music career out of it.
Some kind of career.
And in the music industry, that's where a lot of people are coming from right now, is TikTok, and then they're taking them from their already substantially huge platform and then putting them onto stages, places. You can see it a little bit also in the metal community. If you watch No Cover, there was a specific point in that where they were talking about giving certain people chances to like move forward, but the one that they focused on was an older gentleman who already had a following, history in the music industry.
And acting and producing.
Yeah,
and writing.
he had so much experience, and that's what they focused on because that's what they want now, are people who already have these
fan bases and substantial like success and numbers under their belt.
Yeah, they already have that, and then they want to use that to propel people. That's not how it used to be.
No.
It did not used to be that way at all. If you wanted to be successful in music and as a musician, you would put together the band,
and you would just go play.
Yeah, as many live shows all over the place. You'd be, starving in a van basically.
Yep.
Trying to get noticed by anybody anywhere. And then once you got that contract with a record label or something, then they are the ones who are supposed to promote you and bring in the fan base and stuff. Of course, touring, then you had like a fan base and everything like that, but it's just not quite the same as what they're doing with TikTokers these days.
Yeah, now they want that huge fan base and success established, and then they want to slap their label there and their money there to substantially increase profits from what they already were.
They no longer want to spend money on you to make you a superstar, rock star, sensation, whatever. They don't want to spend that money. They want to get you, and then they want to rake in the money from your success.
Yes, because they found out that with social media and people doing this, they don't have to.
Of course, they help. They, help you book the venues and do the touring side of it, which is important because that's
and they have
not
the
easy
connections with like the videographers, the photographers,
right.
All of that. They have all of those established connections. So if you do sign a contract with a record label, that's what you're signing up for all that access and giving away a little bit of like your creative freedom.
Now it's getting to the point where they want you to be an influencer, right? They don't want you to be a pop star, rock star, hip hop star, rap star. They don't want you to be that. They want you to be an influencer.
They want everything you do to be able to sell something.
Yep. And it's getting to the point where already well-established artists are being asked to do these things. Halsey, Ed Sheeran, and substantial amount of other artists who are coming out and saying that in order for them to release their next album or their next song or whatever, they have to have a viral TikTok in order to create that buzz or be brought back onto the radar for people in order to release the song and make it successful.
So it is adversely affecting artists trying to make a name for themselves, but now it is also affecting artists that have made a name for themselves, and they're having to fight to stay relevant basically with this new platform, and they're not very happy about it. So Halsey shares that she's trying to release a song. It's already written and recorded, and she wants to release it. They will not let her until they can, quote, fake a viral moment on TikTok.
Keep in mind that this is someone who sold over 165 million records, who already has a huge fan base, and they still are like, no, we need the viral TikTok.
Yeah, and including a huge following on TikTok. She already has those numbers, but until they can fake a viral moment, it's a no-go. So she played the song in the background and made it TikTok. And it was risky because technically the record label could sue her for doing that. But the fact that her calling them out and griping about it got so much attention did in fact create a viral moment. So everybody doesn't think that the record label would actually sue her, especially since they still want to make money from her. But there's dangerous grounds there. She's walking on eggshells with that. Also, Florence Welch from Florence and the Machine, she posted one as well. The TikTok starts with her sighing, a big heavy sigh. And she says, "The labels are begging me for lo-fi TikToks, so here you go. Please send help." So it did work. It got very popular.
Yeah, it's interesting because they're asking for like a specific kind too. They're like, you need lo-fi.
They're like, oh yeah, no, you need to
Even
appeal to
just-
this specific audience.
Exactly. Even just a viral TikTok isn't good enough for them. They're like, it's gotta be lo-fi. But
Yeah.
what if it's not? You know?
Exactly.
What would happen then? No, do it again. Do it again.
And then the Ed Sheeran one made me giggle because he seriously did one of him eating chips.
It says when you're supposed to be making promos for your song, but you just really want a snack and you decide that eating a snack can be a promo for a song because everyone loves snacks.
It's true, everyone does love snacks. And he also did one of like the bee bump into the music. That worked too.
Maybe that's why they said that need to be a lo-fi one for the Florence and the Machine one or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they're like, no, you can't be eating chips like Ed Sheeran did, okay? You need to be like doing something musically. Jeez. Ed Sheeran's like, oh, no, just eat some chips and, you know.
It's so interesting because these are all established artists, and this is something that they have to do. And they have to release like so many TikToks a week in order for the label to support them in their musical endeavors.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy to me.
But the interesting part about all this, you have like Ed Sheeran, Halsey calling out their labels because the labels are wanting them to make the viral TikTok in order to release music.
Yes.
But there are some people theorizing that is the marketing plan for all of it anyways.
Yes.
So them complaining about it is the marketing. And that's because everyone loves like outrage or something that upsets them or something like that. You feel like the person you loved is wronged or something, right? So then it's, oh my God, I can't believe they're making Halsey do this. Share. Everyone's sharing it.
Exactly.
You're getting that momentum, you know, and then there it is.
Yeah.
There's the viral TikTok.
So now it's a big thing where you don't know what it is. You don't know if it's actually them sharing their true thoughts and feelings or if that is the marketing tactic because it's now been shown to work because it creates a buzz. Everybody's talking about it because it's not fair that this artist that I love is being punished by their record label for not making TikToks.
Yeah, and like who doesn't like to stick it to the man, right? And the man is the record label. So they're like, if we could bring attention to this and like call out this record label, then I'm absolutely gonna do that. And then you're like, you know, you feel like you're doing something empowering to yourself and to the artist that you feel is wrong. You know, it's pretty smart.
It is. And it's also infuriating at the same time.
Yeah. I recently heard a story about a marketing campaign like that. I can't remember. We'll just go with like a 7-Eleven or something, right? And this guy went in and put a cutout of himself with like a meal, like Dave's favorite 7-Eleven combo. Kept going back in to see how long it would last there until, you know, one of the employees threw it away. It lasted for a decent amount of time. Eventually 7-Eleven caught on to it, you know, and was like, hey man, you know what? Actually, you got a lot of attention with this. So how about we actually do make like a Dave's combo? How about we actually do that and promote it? And so whatever, you know, it seemed like he was like making all this money from 7-Eleven, and they became like, you know, partners for this cool thing. And it's like an underdog thing where it's like someone's like poking fun at these people, and it actually turned out for him in like a really positive way. But it turns out that when they had announced that the Dave 7-Eleven combo, it like within a day after that, they were hitting the stores. Like a day. Like it was such a quick turnaround that now everyone's like, wait a minute. The entire thing was the marketing scheme to make this person make a TikTok, go in there and set this up, and then like this whole storyline, all of it was made up for marketing.
They were faking a viral moment.
Exactly, you know, and with like the TikToks and everything, who can you trust?
You really can't.
So it's interesting, and of course you have to be wary with stuff like that. I don't trust anything on the internet now. I feel like everything's marketing, advertising. Like I feel like that's just what social media is now. It's not even social media, it's marketing media.
Yes, I feel like everybody's trying to sell me something all the time.
That does not take away from what the music industry expects from you, right? These guys already have major platforms where they can cause outrage, which creates that viral TikTok, but they do still expect these younger, smaller bands to have these followings and be able to use these followings to help the record label. It's just not fair, and it makes it seem almost impossible. What's the point of even going out and doing shows when they just want you online building Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, whatever followings?
Yes, and I think that's where I think it's hurting the music industry. There's positives and negatives here because you don't need a label anymore to get your music out there.
Right.
We have the internet. You can get your music out there somehow. And if you can create your own like viral TikTok thing to get your music in front of people, guess what? You just did it yourself, and you don't have to pay this giant company whatever dividends you can earn on merch or selling your single or whatever it is. That's all profit in your pocket. But if you are going to sell on that large of a scale, it's also really hard to keep up with without a team of professionals who knows how to do that. Making product and getting it out to people in a timely manner and taking care of the transaction aspects. When the numbers do get really high, if you don't have a big company, that's when websites start crashing, you start losing money. And you also make a lot of people angry because they haven't gotten anything that was promised to them.
Exactly. And then that's when they start, this word of mouth becomes a bad thing because then they're telling their friends that these people suck because they couldn't get me my stuff. And
exactly.
Maybe it was really late. They needed it for one of their friends' birthdays, and they're like, it kind of just ruined it. And it really important, even with SOAR, when it comes to the marketing side, is exhausting. It takes so long for you to email everybody and for me to, set up all the advertising and make sure that that's running properly. Not to mention how much it costs to do that kind of stuff. It would be really nice to have someone to help with that. So yeah, I mean, positives and negatives for sure.
Yeah. It's a hard thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the huge negative, I think, to the music industry with all of the viral TikToking things is live performance is suffering. They still want to do live performances, but you have to have this viral platform in order for them to put the money behind you to do live performances. But if you are an undiscovered band, live performances have become a waste of money.
Waste of time, waste of money.
Yes, because if you're going to do a live set, you have to be putting in all that time and rehearsal so that you can have your set memorized, to do really good transitions, and just know the groove of your set. And you have different sets for different lengths of performances. So you'd have like a 15-minute set if you're going to be a super opener for something, a 30-minute set, an hour-long set. These are all different ones that you have to have down and memorized. And depending on the quality, you might have to also invest in in-ears and a full sound system, because where we live, they do not have sound systems at most of the places that you go to play shows. You are expected to bring all of your own sound equipment and your own sound people to run the sound, or you will be trying to run the sound for your own show from the stage.
Yep. Which honestly is what happened most of the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is such a nightmare. You have to stop in the middle of your set to go adjust somebody's speakers.
Yeah, exactly. You're getting feedback. You're trying to save people's ears from that. You know, maybe the vocals aren't in the song at all. You didn't really notice that they were so low, and then you're trying to fight with that. Rhythm guitar might be too low, trying to fight with that. It's a huge deal, and it's very frustrating, especially if you're going out trying to sound good to pique people's interests. Like,
because people want it polished. They want a polished sound. That's just what we expect now, because that's what we hear all the time. And so you'll put in all of this work and all this time and effort, and then you'll go play a show at a bar an hour away from where you live, maybe. So you also had to have like a trailer to bring all that equipment, or like a caravan of friends with their cars, and everybody spends money on gas to get there and unpack and get everything all set up. And then you're not a known band. So the only people that show up to the show
usually the
regulars.
Yeah, like your friends, your family, maybe.
Yeah, and a lot of the times as a musician, a lot of the people close to you don't support your music in that way, because they'd have to go out of their way and dedicate their time to it as well, which a lot of people just can't do. So playing shows every weekend for a month, you could have maybe played for, let's say, 20, that is generous where we live, 20 new people at each venue.
That is very generous where we live. Yeah, it's like 20, okay.
And multiply that by 4 shows, 80 people.
Yeah, and most of them are going to be there passively because that's their hangout spot.
And they're just drinking with their friends.
And they don't care about anything.
They're not going to look you up. They aren't going to buy your merch. They're not going to buy your music. They're not going to tell their friends about you. Maybe one person. Putting all that time, effort, and money in has just drained your bank account. So it's not as worthwhile anymore.
Yeah, and not to mention, people don't want to pay at all for unknown bands to come play.
Exactly.
They'll pay you maybe $100, $200, and then some people just give you beer tickets. You don't get paid anything.
Yes, most of the time.
Because they have the mentality of, you're lucky that I'm giving you a platform to play. That's your payment.
Yep, and then sometimes you can get a percentage of door sales. Sometimes it depends, because it depends on if there is an out-of-town band that they pulled in to be the main draw. They will get the main percentage of door fees, or all of it, depending on how many people showed up, because they will promise them a flat amount for being there.
It also depends on if they're enforcing door prices at all.
Yes.
Because there were a few times where, we would have door sales, but the regulars there don't have to, because they're regulars. And they're like, oh, no, he's here all the time. Just let him in.
Exactly.
Don't want him to have to pay to come in here because he's always here. And that's pretty much the people that show up are the people that are always there, which means that not a lot of people are paying to get in. And then, like she said, if there's an out-of-town band, they probably get all that money of whatever happens anyways. And then the rest get beer tickets.
And that's a maybe, too.
So you spend your money on gear, gas, food, everything else, you know, if something happens to a vehicle, you need to fix that. If something happens to your gear, you need to fix that. It's just, those are constant costs. And then you're not getting anything in return.
Yes.
Anything, you're not getting fans, you're not getting money. The exposure is almost non-existent.
Yes.
So why would you not go to social media and try to build that way, where, you know, you get eyes from all over the place? It could be anywhere in the world that you're getting, you know, focus from.
Yes, exactly. And then there's the whole aspect of, most of the time as a group, you want to get signed to a label so that you have the funds to do all the extra promotion and get it in front of more people and all of that. So that's why you play so many live shows, because you're trying to get the attention
of a label
and
to get on
it. Like, you have all these performances under your belt. That used to be what made it worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But now they don't really care about that at all. They want the viral TikToks, not the experience. They will seriously take a teenager who did a dance video that went viral and then teach them how to sing and help them write an album so that they have something to make money off of.
Yeah.
Instead of finding artists and sharing their art.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the goal anymore. It's very financially focused, and it's just a shame. It's so sad. It's one of those things that's just happening now.
Yeah, and we just wanted to touch on it for you guys and just give you an idea of like where things are, and just kind of how much of a mess the music industry is, honestly.
Like, there's so many great opportunities for artists because of the online platform, but then the way that it hurts the structure that was already in place, and now it's all clashing and fighting against each other. So there's a ridiculous amount of artists that's like, their art and music will never see the light of day.
Yeah.
Because it's getting buried under everything. So that was a whole lot of words and a whole lot of perspectives on everything. Definitely share your thoughts with us down below. And I know that in different countries, it could also be different. This is mainly from the perspective of the US music industry.
Yes,
because that's what we have had experience with, and what we are hearing about as well from other people involved in the industry.
But until next time,
we love you.
Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye, guys.
Bye.